Hey guys, welcome to Smack Talk Wrestling's 2019 Money in the Bank predictions video. That's right, we're going to look at this year's Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank for me is one of my favourite pay-per-views of the year. Sometimes is my favourite pay-per-view of the year, and it's just so much fun. It's one of the most chaotic pay-per-views because you just don't know who's going to win sometimes with these type of matches. So I'm going to give my predictions, see who's going to win every match on the card, and hopefully we have a good time. If you do like my videos, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe and press that bell to keep notified. With that now finally said and done, let's get on with the predictions. Let's hit the music. So let's look at the kickoff show first, and we're going to first look at Daniel Bryan and Rollins versus the Usos. Seeing as the Usos have been using this wild card stipulation every single week, have they actually left SmackDown Live's tag team division? I do not think so. They are one of the best tag teams in the world, and Rollins and Daniel Bryan are the newly crowned SmackDown tag team champions. So who do I see going? Well, usually because the titles aren't on the line, I usually just say, nah, the champs are going to win. But I got a bit of a feeling that WWE are just going to go, you know what, we need to build up Daniel Bryan and Rollins, so why not have them have another massive victory on probably one of the best, if not the best tag team, and let them continue their building of being the best heel tag team on SmackDown. So for me, I am going for Daniel Bryan and Rollins. Sticking with the kickoff show kind of momentum, we're going to look at the WWE Cruiserweight match where we see Tony Nese versus Daivari. This one's pretty simple. I'm going with Daivari. I think Tony Nese works better as someone who chases after the championship. I think a lot of people do agree with that. I've just not felt like I'm being that invested in Tony Nese as a champion fan when I was invested in him when he was chasing the championship. So for me, I'm sticking with what I said. I'm going to stick with Daivari. I think Tony Nese is he's a great competitor to chase for that title, but as a champion, he's just quite dull. So Daivari to win the title. Now looking onto the main card itself for the pay-per-view. This is in no particular order, so let's look at the United States Championship match between Samoa Joe and Rey Mysterio. I'm pretty much going to go with Rey Mysterio. If what I was reading online is true, and Rey was originally booked to win at WrestleMania before he got injured, then I think it will happen. I think his son will get involved in the match in some way, causing Samoa Joe to get distracted. Rey gets the victory and he has the United States Championship. To be honest, I would not mind this. I think Rey Mysterio should have one more title run in WWE, and the United States Championship is the right title for him. He could really elevate the mid-card division, having outstanding matches with a lot of the mid-card talent in that division on Raw. So for me, I'm looking forward to seeing Rey Mysterio lift the United States Championship. Next up, we're going to look at the Raw Women's Championship match of Becky Lynch versus Lacey Evans. Now, I'm hoping for my own sake that this match happens first, then we get Charlotte versus Becky later in the night. But I am going to go with the man Becky 2 belts to hold on to the Raw Women's Championship, mainly because Becky needs. I think she should have a longer run as Becky 2 belts. I know a lot of people are finding it a bit of a strain having her both on SmackDown and on Raw, but for me, I'm really enjoying it still right now. So having her continue being the women's champion on Raw would be awesome. I think Lacey Evans will have a fantastic match. I think this will really highlight how good of an athlete Lacey Evans is going to be, especially her being a new star on Raw. So for me, I'm going for the man Becky Lynch. Talking about Charlotte versus Becky, I'm going to go with Becky Lynch. I know, like I stated in the 30 seconds into this video, it's pretty much Becky to hold on to both belts. Yeah, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, let's give Charlotte that title, make a Charlotte 9 belts, and you know, I just find it. I think the Charlotte and Becky feud should end, and having Becky lose the title makes sense for her to end that feud and allow those two to split off, have Charlotte as the mainstay on SmackDown and have Becky the mainstay on Raw. That makes perfect sense. But this is WWE we're talking about, and Becky 2 belts is trending in the world of wrestling, so I can't see him giving up this golden geese just yet when they can still make some money out of it. So for me, I'm going to stick with Becky holding on to both SmackDown and Raw Women's Championships. Next up, I'm going to look at Shane O'Mac, the best in the world, Shane O'Mac versus The Miz in a steel cage match. For me, this is going to be an interesting match. I'm kind of hoping The Miz does get the win. I think he deserves one. He's kind of had back-to-back defeats with Shane O'Mac. So now I think it's now time for Shane and The Miz to go at it one last time. Let this be the end of it and let The Miz have a big victory. I hope George is there. I hope George turns up, helps The Miz win, maybe knock out Shane before he escapes the cage, and then Miz gets out with the victory. So yeah, I'm sticking with The Miz. I know it's a dangerous one. I know they are reporting this feud could go on to later on and still continue, but I'm hoping this feud does kind of end. It's had a good little run now, but let's let this be the end and allow The Miz to have a big victory over Shane O'Mac. Next up, we're going to look at Roman Reigns versus Elias. Now, I agree with what a lot of people online have said. This feud has not really built up that well, and I kind of agree. It's always felt like Roman's getting attacked by Shane. It more feels like Shane is feuding with Roman than Elias is feuding with Roman. Elias just feels like one of Shane's lackeys, and I think that's how this match is going to end. Roman's going to win. Let's be honest, it's Roman Reigns versus Elias. Don't get me wrong, I love Elias. I think he's entertaining. I just wish we had Elias as a baby face for a little bit longer than what we did. But yeah, we're definitely going to have Roman Reigns go over Elias. Next up, we're looking at the WWE Championship match where we see Kofi Kingston defending his WWE title against Kevin Owens. This one was really difficult for me. Obviously, we all know that Kevin was inserted, well, pretty much turned heel because Daniel Bryan was injured and they had to change plans and put KO into the spot. And a lot of people are still enjoying. Kofi Mania is still going on. It's still live. But there's a part of me, like, my brain is saying Kofi's going to win. But my gut is saying KO is going to win. I know if Yasha was here, she'd go, oh, you got to pick Kevin Owens. He's a teddy bear. He's just misunderstood. So I think I'm going to jump the rails. I think everyone else has said Kofi Kingston online. I think it's going to go KO. I'm taking the jump. I know KO wasn't supposed to be in this match, but the build-up for it has been really well put together, and I think it's time for KO to finally have the WWE Championship in his grasp. Next up, we're going to look at the Universal Championship match where we see Seth freaking Rollins versus AJ Styles. A bit of me wants both guys to win. Again, this is just like the Kofi Kingston and Kevin Owens match. My brain's saying one thing, my gut's saying the other. But I'm gonna go with my brain this time instead of my gut, and I'm going to go with Seth friggin' Rollins. I think it's too soon for both champions to change belts like we did at WrestleMania. So I think Seth's going to be the mainstay in the main event for Raw for some time. I think he'll probably lose the belt near to SummerSlam. Maybe to AJ, maybe to someone else. Maybe we could get an AJ Styles heel turn in this match. I'm hoping we do, because heel AJ is brilliant. But yes, I am going to stick with Seth Rollins. I think Seth's going to be Universal Champion for some time. Now we're going to look at the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. We got Nikki Cross, who replaced Alexa Bliss because of injury. We have Naomi, we have Natalya and Dana Brooke for Raw. For SmackDown, we have Bayley, Ember Moon, Carmella and Mandy Rose. This one for me is quite difficult. I don't know where this will swing. I know that a lot of people are indicating this women's Money in the Bank will go to SmackDown and the men's will go to Raw. But I'm thinking, why not? Why, if WWE want to sway us and really like call us out, because I know Ember Moon is favourite to win this match, and it makes sense. She's come back from injury. She really hasn't done too much, but she's been in the background a little bit on SmackDown, and her winning the Money in the Bank really elevates her into, you know, babyface Money in the Bank, which we don't often see, by the way. Having that opportunity, especially if Charlotte does win this SmackDown Women's Championship off Becky Lynch, having Ember Moon cash in on a heel Charlotte Flair could be very, very interesting. Especially because you know someone like Ember Moon, if she did win, she'd probably challenge Charlotte up front by cashing in. But for me, no, I'm gonna go off script here with everyone else, and I am going to go with Nikki Cross. I think Nikki Cross, yes, last minute substitution. A lot of people have just kind of blanked her. She hasn't been on TV, but her first match on Raw since she's been moved to the Raw brand permanently was very impressive, and Nikki was absolutely insane. Imagine that much chaos holding the Money in the Bank, and you know, Alexa Bliss like, oh, she's my replacement, so that storyline could write itself there with two women fighting over the women's Money in the Bank briefcase, because Alexa thinks it's hers because Nikki's her replacement. That could be very interesting. So I'm going to go with Nikki Cross just for storylines and to how insane it would be for her to hold the briefcase. And last but not least, for the predictions video, we're looking at the men's Money in the Bank briefcase match. Well, ladders match, really. We've got Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin and Sami Zayn for Raw. For SmackDown Live, we have Ali, Finn Balor, Randy Orton and Andrade. Woo, this is a difficult one. I know a lot of people, it's so divided online who's going to win this Money in the Bank briefcase. So for me, I'm going to go Andrade. Again, it's either Andrade or Drew McIntyre, and I think Drew is good enough to win the Universal Championship off Seth. I think he's going to be it, and I don't think he's going to do it with the Money in the Bank. I think he's going to just challenge Seth, have a fantastic series of matches after the AJ stuff, and then Drew finally gets the Universal title. So I'm going to go with Andrade. I think Andrade could carry off the briefcase perfectly. He could have a feud with Finn Balor as the Money in the Bank briefcase holder. If he doesn't win the Intercontinental Championship, that could be like interesting. We could see how he evolves from there, and then having finally cash in on maybe a injured Kofi Kingston thanks to Kevin Owens. That would be very interesting, wasn't it? But yes, yeah, I'm going to go Andrade. I think the story's there for him if they really... And plus, apparently Vince McMahon is completely in love with Andrade, which you can't blame him. He is bloody brilliant. So yeah, I'm going to stick with Andrade. And there you go, guys. That is my predictions for 2019's Money in the Bank pay-per-view. What did you guys think? What are your predictions? I really want to hear what you guys think, who's going to win Money in the Bank this year. If you do like our videos, don't forget to like, subscribe and press that bell to keep notified with all the content we do here on Smack Talk Wrestling. If you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at Smack Talk YouTube. That's a U and a tube. If you want to follow me on the old Twitter, it's at Boise88. And I'll see you guys next time on Smack Talk Wrestling.